Mika mentioned in the open, this is a Fever team on a 3-game winning streak. This is a Tempo team trying to snap their losing streak, a tough one against the Dream. They're looking to bounce back in multiple ways. Commissioner's Cup action continues on. Second to last day, and tomorrow there's a lot on the line in the West. Mabry with 4 on the shot clock. To the corner, here's Harrison for 3 to start things off. Does not go as Boston controls the glass.
And that's one thing the Tempo talked about and worked on and shoot around is passing the ball around to find the open shot. They used the clock, just not able to get that shot to fall.
Lob inside, deflected and controlled now by Sykes. Into the body of Hull, lays it up and in.
Coach White talked a lot about just the turnovers. We saw the unforced error right on that last possession by the Fever.
Mitchell, little hesitation, jab step again, no work to Boston. And Boston gets the Fever on the board. Isabel Harrison will pick up the foul.
What about that patience right there? Leah Boston kind of fumbled the ball a little bit, but able to get her control, get herself set. You see Izzy Harrison's hands do come down, so that's a foul, but a great pass, great bind by Kelsey Mitchell.
At the line for your Fever, Boston.
And in the Tempo's last game, if you're just joining us, Isabel Harrison was ejected in that third quarter with a flagrant 2 foul on Angel Reese. She's looking to bounce back herself, make herself fully available here. This is a huge matchup for them, especially defensively.
The third game, Isabel Harrison is in, so every single time they get a chance to play, it's a big one.
Sykes gets to the hoop, the harm, and will head to the free throw line.
That's what Sykes does so well. She comes, and when she sees an open lane, she's going at it. Always have been known as being able to play downhill and attack the basket, but I love the way that her game has expanded. Now she's able to knock down the 3. She's got the mid-range game to get down low because she's bigger than a lot of the guards as well.
This is the free throw, unconventional of her, shooting 90% on the season from the charity stripe, excuse me. That's one that she wants back as the Tempo have a 1-point lead here early. Clark in Boston. Deep one from Clark to start things off. Does not go. Boston fights for that clearance. And Mabry got a piece of it. Here's Hall as she gets it to go.
That's what Hall does so well. She's always going to be around the basket. She's kind of one of those sneaky players, a versatile player in so many ways.
Harrison not shy on the 3. That knocks down. Mitchell off the handoff, turning the corner into the body of Yushkaita, but it's Billings there. Couldn't get the follow. Yushkaita running the floor. Might be the easiest bucket of the evening so far.
You saw her come in streaking down that right side, and Mabry for a minute almost missed her.
Nice find and flip from Billings.
Clark is so good at just being able to know how to get 2 defenders up on her to make that nice little pass.
Armand. 3 off the mark. Clark downhill. Reverse layup doesn't go. Billings on the follow. Contact. And Monique Billings will head to the free throw line.
Interestingly enough, for the Fever, they've done a great job on the offensive board, just continuing to be in the right place at the right time. Clark always looking at ways to attack the basket, but this is the offensive rebound right there. You see 2 Fever players coming, Monique Billings able to get in, and that's a foul on the arm. But just being able to attack in a lot of different ways. think maybe trying to attack the basket, trying to make an easy look, and Caitlin, another turnover. That's what you normally see when Kelsey Mitchell makes that backdoor cut, which those two are normally very much connected on that backdoor.
And we saw early in the season, and I know it's still early now, that there was some miscues, but they've gotten a lot more connected, as you said, with the chemistry. Hull is called for the foul, and she disagrees with it.
I think that went back to the last play, and maybe we thought she got fouled on the attack, and so she put herself into Alexi Hull's body. That might have been a missed call, but a call is a call, and we'll roll with it.
Harrison on the roll. Step through, doesn't go, follows her own. Blocked by Boston, and they're going to get a jump ball. That is showing the strength of Aaliyah Boston this season.
Well, Aaliyah just has elevated her game every single year, you know. What I love this year is the confidence that she's playing with. Last year we saw it too, but it's just a different level.
And the Fever come up with the jump ball possession. Clark behind the back. Almond got a piece of that one. Oh, Billings down low with Sykes on it, former teammates. That one doesn't go. Skyta. She's very poised and calm when she collects down low.
Well, she's getting wide open looks, and so you got to wonder from the Fever standpoint, not finding players in transition, which Coach White talked about it. We have to be disciplined on defense. That is what she said. So Toronto's definitely taking advantage of that.
Here's Clark. Too strong on that one. Loose ball. It goes off of the foot of Sykes. It will stay with Indiana.
Fever basketball.
I like Caitlin, the way that she plays and just being able to score in so many different ways. She's going to attack the basket, but you're going up against Brittany Sykes, one of the top defenders in the WNBA.
Here's Mitchell. There's Rushkaita on her. Down low to Billings. A tough pass, but a whistle is blown. And they're going to get
Number
Sykes.
20, Brittany Sykes, her first. Team's third.
Sykes got buried down behind Monique Billings, and she's complaining to the ref that she was just trying to get around her. But you know, I think when you have a body like that and a big size, you got to almost release, take a step back and go around.
Aisha Hines-Allen and Sophie Cunningham checking in for the Fever. Posting down on Harrison. Into the body, flips it up, does not go. Harrison clearing the glass. Mabry. And Maisha Hines-Allen was hit on that last possession, and I believe she's bleeding. She immediately ran to the sideline to the Fever bench. Boston back into the game. Here's Mitchell, lays that up and in.
When you need a bucket, Kelsey Mitchell is that player, always looking to go downhill, always looking to get to the basket, but if nothing else, that step back that she has too is just fun to watch.
Almond, 10 on the shot clock for the tempo. Rushkaita steps into the three. That one's off the mark. Cunningham with the rebound, and Clark now looking to push. Clark, side step back three. That one's off the mark. Harrison lost the handle on that one. And a timeout on the floor. Off the inbound, nice find to Mitchell for the finish. And Tamika, it was funny hearing Stephanie and her concern with that trade. And when she was first drafted, being like, what am I going to do in Miami?
Well,
What is there not to do in Miami?
She's from Indiana. She went to Purdue, and going from Indiana to Miami is definitely a difference.
Could be worse places, though. But I think it worked out not only for both teams, but also both coaches.
Definitely would.
Here's Boston, picked up by Temi Benley into the ball game. Cunningham working off the curl. Doesn't get the finish. Sykes the rebound. Maria Conde into the ball game for the Tempo as well, too. Sykes couldn't get the finish on that. Wanted the whistle. It sends the Fever the other way. Clark picked up by Conde. Mitchell. And they're going to get a foul called on Yushkaika.
How about that cut, though? Kelsey Mitchell and Caitlin Clark, you just look at and we talk about that, just the chemistry. You always know that Kelsey Mitchell is going to either back cut off the baseline or the wide open. They had the mismatch. And Kelsey Mitchell
Comes off the impound, knocks down the three. And Kelsey Mitchell having kind of that slow burn to start things off here for the Fever. Sykes. Here's Conde for three. That one is a beautiful shot.
and a much needed shot for Toronto Tempo that had gone a couple times up and down without getting a score.
Clark right down the other way, left that short. Benley with the rebound. Conde wanting to push as Sykes pushes. Benley on the roll. Back cut from Sykes right down the middle of the lane, lays it up and in.
Temi Benley, this is her second game back as well, and kind of trying to figure out how to get her back in the rhythm of that she was playing with.
Boston inside, quick hook shot. In fact, Benley's also still learning the system as well, too. Here's Nurse into the ball game. Sykes, 8 on the shot clock for Toronto. Benley, the jumper, does not go. Timpson with the rebound and the push. Boston.
A 3-second call by Leah Boston, but one thing that you love about Toronto is that they are still trying to figure out how to play together. And we mentioned Temi Benley a couple possessions ago, but that backdoor cut, just that connection between Benley and Brittany Sykes. We're starting to see it come together. I know Sandy Brundella has to be happy about some of the things she's seen so far.
Oman back into the ball game, and they're going to get Kia Nurse on a foul. A little too aggressive with that push-off.
She wanted the ball, I got it. She wanted the ball. And she came, you see right there, that left arm, definitely. And Sophie might have sold it a little bit, but get that call.
First turnover for the Tempo in this ball game. Under 2 minutes to go here in the first quarter. Boston off the quick crossover, follows her own miss. How about Aaliyah Boston and her energy?
I love Aaliyah when she's playing like this. This is her at her highest. Coming in offensively, definitely in sync with the offense, not forcing anything and taking her time.
Raven Johnson into the ball game for the Fever. Harrison flips that one up. Nice touch off the rim. Running the floor, Timpson. And they're going to call her for a travel.
KK Timpson thought that she put the ball on the deck before that, but let's take another look. Leah Boston just continuing to do Boston thing. Makes it look so easy. The strength, the confidence, the follow.
And a turnover there again by Toronto. Some miscues here. Aaliyah Boston, 7 points, 6 rebounds already in the first quarter to me. Johnson. Back to Mitchell. Mitchell probing. Step through over off the window.
Kelsey Mitchell downhill, hard to stop unless you're going to bring the rotation over.
Conde layup doesn't go. And Key with the follow. Gianni Key, nice follow and finish. 22-20 Fever lead. Johnson dribbled that off of her foot, and they're going to get a backcourt violation.
I want to talk a little bit about Key because I've had the opportunity to watch her the last couple of years at Kentucky, and to watch her game continue to develop and to see her in the pros. And know, even as a college, she was a little nervous about what would happen, and it's fun to watch players grow up and make it to the next level.
Here's Nurse. That three's off the mark. Timpson tapped at it and ends up with Isabel Harrison. And she is blown away by the whistle call. That'll be her second. Indiana, 5 turnovers already in this first quarter. That's something Stephanie White before the game told us needs to be a better control of, especially against this Tempo team.
Well, I think when you look at what the Tempo do, they force turnovers. And then on the flip side for the Fever, sometimes they're just going so fast. They got to slow down the game, slow down the pace, and make the easier passes.
Billings at the free throw line, and the stage is set for yet another thrilling major. Shinnecock Hills Golf Club hosts another drama-filled championship in this toughest test in golf. The U.S. Open begins Thursday on USA. See what I did there, Catch? I went to my goal.
I love that. Calm, you slowed down, the pace was great. No turnover there.
Thank you. I'm going to try and turn it into a bucket next time. Billings 1 for 2 at the free throw line. A 3-point lead here for the Fever. 15 on the shot clock for Toronto. Alman, good retreat dribble, keeping it alive. 10 on the shot clock now. Conde with it. 6 seconds. Conde attacking. Kicks. Extra one. Alman will take the three. That's off the mark. Shot clock turned off. Fever can play for final shot of the first. Mitchell attacking. Probing. Kicks. Johnson going baseline. 2 seconds. 1 second. Cunningham. Right around 48%. That three, good sign for Fever fans that it's going down early. Clark with 6 on the shot clock. Timpson gets it back to her, and it's taken away by Mabry. Mabry has not scored in this ball game over to Fag Benley. And a whistle and a foul. I'm curious, Catch, you had a chance to talk to Marina about her selflessness, and I'm looking at her numbers. No points, only 2 shot attempts.
Well, I mean, you also have to play within the flow of the game, and that's one thing when you look at Mabry, it's not wanting to be a player to force things. And I think when you look at the selflessness part of it, it's when you get the ball, oh, I haven't scored, let me force something. But the tempo, the way that they're moving the ball, they're playing with one another. Brittany Sykes was a huge part of that first quarter. And now you have other players that are having to step in, and I think that's also what Coach Grandella has talked about. It's a team effort. The game will come, and as other players start to develop and do things, the ball will get back in our hands.
There's Clark behind the back on Alman as she's going to get that to fall over the front of the rim, and she'll have a chance for one more.
Well, you knew it was just a matter of time, and Caitlin Clark has attacked the basket multiple times, just not able to finish, and that time going into the body of Julie Alaman, forcing the contact, but getting that foul. Alaman had her hand down just enough, and Caitlin Clark able to get that finish.
Misses the and one opportunity. She missed some big free throws in their game against Washington, although they won with that shot from her at the buzzer. It was the missed free throws prior to that. Unconventional of Clark to be missing so many free throws here. Here's Mabry. Gets that to go off the window.
Right on cue. Mabry will not force the action. Does a great job of attacking the basket.
Timpson. Hand off to Clark. Clark. To the corner. Johnson. A nice shot from the rookie. Yushkaita. Fag Benley trying to get out of that coffin corner. 8 on the shot clock now for the Tempo. Mabry. Mid-range doesn't go. Clark the rebound. 31-23 lead. Clark trying to add to it. And Caitlin Clark gets the whistle, in her favor. Alman immediately looked to the Tempo bench.
Well, Amon, the first thing you know is Caitlin Clark can shoot from the logo, so you can't even be all the way back. And she's tried to step up and gets underneath Caitlin's leg. They're going to take a look at it.
Toronto's challenging the call.
The previous foul is under review for a potential upgrade.
And the officials of officiating, they took a look at it to see if it was upgradable or needed to be upgraded. They ruled it a common foul, so Clark at the line, and she's got the first 2 of 3.
Julie Alamán not happy about that call, but even as she ran up and Caitlin Clark took that shot, there was a little bit of contact, and that is something that the league is trying to protect.
Tierra Cruz, Angel Kent, and Kelsey Reynolds are officials this evening. That might be a record. Here's Yushkaita. Good poise to finish that one, even with contact. Clark on the bounce to Cunningham, doesn't get the finish. Mabry going the other way.
And those are the missed layups that Coach White had talked about, and just trying to make sure the Fever team slow down a little bit and knock down those shots.
Yushkaita knocks down that shot.
Yushkaita has been a bright spot for this Toronto Tempo team and just so consistent.
Got a deflection there. Here's Mabry. Mabry pushing with Alman and Yushkaita. Goes to Yushkaita for the lay-in. And Stephanie White wants to talk things over as she calls timeout.
Did you score it and score in this game? Yushkaita definitely stepped up.
Paris, you have more on the international flavor of Toronto?
Yeah, there's a lot of international players on that roster for the Tempo. 7 players with home countries outside of the U.S., and that doesn't even include Sandy Brondello and the 2 assistants that they have who are also international as well. And Coach Brondello told me at shoot-around this morning, look, it's a global game, and it's great that so many international players are now in this league. We don't do it intentionally, she said, but considering we're the only international team, it's really nice to have that experience on this roster, and it makes it really fun.
I'm going to say it one time and one time only. As they called a foul on the Tempo, or they called a foul, excuse me, on the Fever. Marina was encouraging Stephanie White to challenge it. But I'm going to say it one time only. The joy and jealousy that I have for the young hoopers in Canada that I did not have to be able to have a WNBA team to cheer for growing up. There's going to be a generation that only knows the Toronto Tempo, and I love that for them.
Well, that's going to be awesome, too. And I just think when you look at the WNBA overall and what we have been able to see, celebrating 30 years, a lot of these players have had the opportunity to grow up with the WNBA as part of the action, as something that they could dream to and aspire to be in.
Isabel Harrison getting called for the foul, her 3rd of this ball game. 6:49 to go in this first half still. And with the injuries to Niara Sabali, yes, they have bodies, but Sandy Brondello doesn't have too many bigs to work with.
You got to be careful, especially, and I think with Brondello trying to give a little bit of patience too, in allowing, hey, we're going to have different lineups.
Yushkaita able to read that defensively, throw it off of Boston. And you see Niara Sabali there, who continues to work her way to health. Before the game, Sandy also said Kiki Rice, who has been injured with that ankle injury, continues to make progress day to day. Hasn't given a timeline on either of them as of yet.
And she talks so highly of Sabali, and just like when she's healthy, she's amazing.
Yushkaita continues to be the hot hand for this Tempo team.
14 points and really just playing with a lot of confidence right now. But I would say the Fever have left her wide open in certain situations to give her easy looks.
Boston lost the handle. Conde comes up with it. Tempo can take the lead on this possession, but it's stripped by Clark. The Fever trying to look for some calmness. Clark attacking, lays that off the window. Quickly back the other way, the Tempo pushing. Yushkaita kicks it, Harrison in the corner. Back to back-to-back triples for Toronto.
Izzy Harrison gives this Temple team another look. So obviously, Sabali could do that as well, knock down the three, but more of a post player.
Foul is going to be called on Laura Yushkaita.
Well, the Fever definitely always looking at opportunities to run, and Caitlin Clark, one of those playmakers. Yushkaita gets in front of her. She doesn't have her feet set. You have to have your feet set in order to be able to get that charge call. And Clark does a good job of reading that.
Third on Yushkaita as well. In fact, Benley comes into the ball game as the Fever turn it over. Sidestep, kicks it. In fact, Benley baseline jumper doesn't go. Boston the rebound. 10 turnovers for this Fever team. Here's Hull. Three's off the mark. 38-37 Fever lead. And a miscue there by Sykes and Mabry. Sorry, go ahead.
Right there. Well, Sykes and Mabry, they're on the same page, definitely, but I think Sykes, the way the ball left her hands, you knew it was kind of a miscue pass.
Only the 4th turnover for Toronto in this first half. Under 5 minutes to play here in the second quarter. Mitchell. And a foul going to be called on Brittany Sykes, her second.
Brittany Sykes, her second.
Kelsey Mitchell comes off the screen. For the young guards that are in the game, when you come off the screen and the way she comes so tight to her offensive players, she forces the defense to have to make a decision. Most of the time, because of how fast she is, you can't guard her just by like trying to stay with her. You have to make sure that you're either behind or going under the screen.
Now let's take a look at the upcoming WNBA National TV schedule. You see tomorrow on USA that big doubleheader, Chicago and Phoenix both hosting. That Phoenix-Las Vegas game has huge implications on the Commissioner's Cup Western Conference. And then Thursday, Amazon Prime has you covered with Atlanta and Indiana. For more on these games, please go to WNBA.com or the WNBA app. 3-point lead here for the Fever. And they're going to count the bucket and give Marina Mabry a chance for one more. A foul called on Hull.
Mabry doing a good job of attacking the basket, and Lexi Hall might have gotten just a little bit too close. You see the drive. And I know that left arm of Mabry might have went into Hall, but there's also the body contact before that. And
to the credit of the officials, there was no elbow to wrist extension. That's what they're looking for. So even though the chicken wing kind of goes up, they look for that forearm extension.
I like the chicken wing.
I might be hungry, I don't know. Marina ties us at 40. Hull. 3-pointers off the mark as Conde is pushing here for Toronto. Harrison, Conde, backcourt. Back Benley to Harrison. Doesn't go. Good defense there by Timpson. And Hull almost miscues on that one. Boston attacking. Floater doesn't go. Timpson trying to put that back up and in, and it will be Toronto basketball. Up the floor. Sykes able to collect. Working off Zach Benley. Pull up jumper. Clark, low cross. Behind the back, no look. Timpson with the finish.
This team gelled together and really talk about the closed fist, but really find ways to win. And that's one thing that Coach White said she's really proud of. Even as they have maybe not done as well. Oh my gosh, that block. KK Timpson.
Conde. That one almost down and out, but my goodness. Michaela Timpson. Whew. Welcome to the party. Here's Mitchell. Clark the three. That one's off the mark. Mabry. Harrison works off the screen. screen from Sykes. Sykes rises from three. Gets every part of the rim on that one.
That's the way the Temple like to play. They like to get up and down, but when they are able to set into their half-court offense, they can get some good looks.
In-out dribble from Clark for the lay-in. Back and forth. We expected this to be a high-octane affair. Sykes. Here's Harrison for three. That one left short. Clark on the rebound and push it. Up the floor. Boston sealing space and finishing.
Boston does the right thing. She knows Harrison has 3 fouls and can't afford to get another foul, so she's going to get her right underneath the basket.
Mabry, that one is well off the mark, and the Fever fans are going to let her know. Paris, you have an injury update for us?
Yeah, just an update from the Fever locker room. Maisha Hines-Allen, who we saw go back to the locker room after taking that hit to the face in the first quarter, she is questionable to return to tonight's game with a facial injury.
Thank you so much for that update. As much as things are starting to work for chemistry-wise, that's a big loss when it comes to inside presence.
Definitely, but one thing we all know is when one player goes down, another player has to step up.
Marina Mabry stepping up right there for the lay-in. Up the floor, Harrison got a fingertip on that one, or it was going to be Aaliyah Boston in the rim. .138 to play here in this first half. A 1-point ball game. Mitchell. Clark now with it. Clark kicks it. Cunningham, pump fake, sidestep three. Sophie Cunningham hits. Sykes. Mabry dribbles it off the foot of Cunningham. Up the floor. Cunningham under control.
That's the quickest way for this Indiana Fever to get going. They love that up and down. Both teams love the tempo, but unforced errors by Toronto, and the Fever are rolling.
9-2 run over the last 90 seconds. Make it a 9-4 run as Harrison gets that to fall. Boston lays it up and in. 35 seconds to play in the half. Mabry, that three goes. She wanted that.
Oh, she was shooting that regardless.
And a second differential between shot and game clock here. Clark on the logo, in range. 8 seconds on the shot clock. Works off Boston. Kept Conde on her back. Deflected, 4 seconds. Mabry from deep. And the first half comes to a close. You have to know your role, you have to accept it, but you have to do it at a very high level. So far in that first half, Yushkaita understood what her expectation and role was in that one.
Yeah, definitely, and it's going to be interesting. You already see Fever want to get down low and get the ball in Aaliyah Boston's hands.
Here's Billings, 4 on the shot clock, checks it, turns. That one rattles in and out as Conde comes up with the rebound. Conde getting the third quarter start here. Harrison. Yushkaita attacking Boston. Little shovel pass to Mabry.
Marina Mabry talked about just making sure she stays under control and attacks the offense, and that's the attack mode.
Mitchell had that stripped. Sykes going the other way. Mitchell grabbing at her face. On the bounce, Conde comes back to Sykes. In the paint, hanging, gets that to go. Conde getting the start here in the third quarter for Julie Alman. If we have an update, we will get it to you as soon as we have one. Clark from behind three. Billings, how about the effort? And they're going to get a whistle and a foul. Marina Mabry going to pick it up. But that's effort. That is the will.
That second effort to get in there. And Billings first. The first thing is Billings, he's kind of trying to box out Billings, but Billings did a great job of just getting up.
Clark to the corner. Gets it back for Billings. Into the paint. Whistle and a foul.
Number 2, her fourth team second.
Skida gets called for the foul. Fourth foul.
At the line for your Fever, number 22.
Skida, so Caitlin Clark will step to the free throw line. Clark is 3 of 4 on the evening. And it's that time of year again. Make sure your voice is heard for this year's WNBA All-Star voting presented by Ally. You can scan the QR code on your screen right now. Let them get their screens out, get the phones out, open the camera app, everybody. And you can vote for WNBA All-Star starters. You always got to give them that extra second. Because you fumbling for the button. All-Star weekend in Chicago this year.
Skida went out with her fourth foul. So that is big when you look at Julie Alamán, also not with the team on the bench right now.
Mabry puts Toronto ahead by 2. 16 points on the ball game. Clark trying to answer, doesn't. And things getting chippy between Marina and Lexi.
Well, both of these players have an edge, and you look on the lower right-hand screen, corner of the screen, and Mabry and Lexi Hall. I like that fire, though. I think you have to have that edge. You can't be a nice player all the time. Sometimes you have to have that chip on your shoulder.
Here's Billings in the corner. That one's off the mark. Clark the rebound. Here's Hall off the window with the finish. Tied at 57. Mabry by Benley. Baseline layup. Clark attacking on the bounce to Mitchell. And Mitchell is going to head to the free throw line. She does such a good job of positioning herself.
Well, and part of it is the connection and the eye contact. You can't make a backdoor cut without knowing that your player is going backdoor. And Caitlin Clark always does a good job of controlling the dribble. So you'll see control the dribble. She looks away. She saw Kelsey Mitchell start to attack. And as a backdoor cutter, once you start cutting, you have to continue to cut whether or not you get the ball. And I think that's why it works so well with those two.
And Mitchell's game thrives off of that action and that movement because she catches defenses and defenders out of the blue with it.
Well, she's so quick. When she goes backdoor, even coming off the screen, we talked about that earlier, just shoulder to shoulder, the way she comes off the screen, she doesn't allow space for the defender to come. She is a player that is hard to guard because you never know what she's going to do.
Benley able to control that pass from Mabry. 10 on the shot clock. Mabry. Foul line jumper doesn't go. Boston the rebound. 8th rebound of the ball game for Aaliyah Boston. Here she is, stretching from distance. That one looks good.
And that's a big-time shot. You saw Kelsey Mitchell telling Caitlin Clark, don't pass me the ball. Aaliyah's wide open, and AB stepped right into that shot.
On the shot clock here for Toronto. And Slim is down and in pain. Fortunately, been a bug and a thorn in their side.
Definitely, and one thing that Coach Brondello talked about is, hey, we have to have the next player up, and thankfully for them, when Kiki Rice went down, they had Julie Alamán, and Alamán is not on the bench, and now they got a team of PA. So they're looking and using whichever players are available.
And Brondello with 13 seasons of experience, obviously her playing career as well too, you never want to see a player go down. In this instance, though, she has the experience of having to figure it out.
Well, Brondello, just one of those coaches in our league, and we asked her just about the injury situation. She said every coach has to deal with it to some extent, and for this season in particular, they have yet to have a game where all of the players have been available. So you see that they have the success as far as the two, Marina Mabry and Sykes, but to finally have all the players put together, it'd be great to see what the potential of this team is.
Boston 2 for 2 at the free throw line. 5-point lead for the Fever. 6.5 to play in the third quarter. Bowie into the ball game with 6 on the shot clock here for the Tempo. Attacking. Finger roll doesn't go. Boston the rebound. Up the floor. Here's Cunningham.
I think this also goes back to role players, knowing your role, and Kelsey Mitchell right on cue. Not only is it the Caitlin Clark to Mitchell, but now we get the Boston to Mitchell, and that backdoor cut just so hard to, you know it's coming. You just can't guard it.
Aaliyah Boston averages just under 3 assists a game. And we saw a beautiful one there. Cross-court pass. Here's Bowie. 4 on the shot clock. Conde. A calming shot that was needed for Toronto.
Well, you just got to see the ball go through the basket, and nice pace by the Tempo and just moving the ball.
Clark, little hesitation. Behind the back reverse layup. Isn't going to go, but she will go to the free throw line.
Number 32, team of Point. First, second.
Kelsey Mitchell's always in position for that backdoor cut. You stay set, and she is going to blow right by you. And just another look at it, but just so good at just going backdoor, being able to read the connection, the eye connection.
And that was with the assist brought to you by State Farm. As the Fever with a 5-point lead. Make that 6-point lead. This is also something Stephanie White talked about, is when we have the lead, we have to learn how to play with it and not allow teams back into games.
Well, there's sometimes you play not to lose instead of playing to win, and I think that's just what she meant.
And a tie up there between Mitchell, Boston, and Mabry. That's a play to win. But now look at the leadership of Temi Fagbenle, bringing the players on the Tempo together to talk.
Fagbenle and her leadership, even when she was with the Indiana Fever, that is something that they used to talk about. Her voice rings loud and people listen.
And a jump ball violation, so it'll be Fever basketball. Fagbenle, 6th year in the WNBA, but many years of experience playing overseas professionally and as well too internationally, whether it be for the national team or not.
Yeah, her experience, her leadership, her voice, being in the right place at the right time, and you know, we got this from Sophie as far as role players. That's what she's had to do too, but I think she's also been able to be a good leader.
Here's Clark, kick out Boston. Can she make it 2 in a row? That one off the mark. As Hui comes up with a loose ball rebound. Harrison. Too strong on the layup. Fever with a 5-on-4 here. Up the floor, Cunningham. Hits it! And Sandy Brondello would like a timeout. Fever kind of turning things up a notch. They're trying to figure out how to close this one out. Yes, it's only the third quarter, but you got to make winning plays.
Well, third quarter is where they struggled in the third and the fourth quarter. So to be able to come into this second half with the defensive intensity has been big. And look at that defense from Sophie Cunningham.
Mabry, mid-range jumper goes. That's a bucket that Marina Mabry was needed. 71-64 lead here for the Fever. Mitchell. Distance.
That's what makes Kelsey Mitchell so hard to guard, because you want to go underneath the screen because she beats you going back door, and then she just stops behind the screen and knocks down a big three.
Fagbenle the seal. And they're going to get a whistle and a foul. And great news for Fever fans. Hines Allen, after that hit to the face in the first half. And her and Isabel Harrison have a moment. Good to see her back on the floor. 10 on the shot clock here for Toronto. In the corner, Key. Hui, the offensive rebound. And they're going to get an offensive foul call on Tima Hui. Third foul.
Fever basketball.
Now, this is a big minute for Hui to be able to get in, because she's been the third kind of rotation in that point guard position.
Here's Mitchell trying to turn the corner. Clark. Mitchell gets it back. Foul line jumper. That goes. And the Fever now with a 12-point lead, their biggest of the ball game. Conde off the kick. The answer. Cunningham works off Hines Allen. Lines it up and knocks it down.
Well, to say that Sophie Cunningham is having a game right now is an understatement, because she is feeling it, knocking down shots, just the way she's knocking it down.
In the corner, the tempo not going down easy. They cut it back to 9. Cunningham with 14 on the ball game, as you mentioned. And a whistle and a foul. Free throws for the Fever.
And I love what Sophie said before the game. It's just when I get in, I have to know what my role is, and I have to be ready to shoot. But even more importantly, the confidence that her teammates have in her to knock down those shots. And early on in the season, I felt like there was some opportunity that she kind of missed just by trying to move the ball, but it's good to see her getting back into her flow.
Paris, you have an update for us on Julie Alman.
Yeah, an injury update. Julie Alman, who did not start in the second half, she is unlikely to return to this game tonight. The tempo going to really have to lean into that next woman up mentality even more here in the second half.
They trail by 9 here with just over 2 minutes to go in this third quarter. So you lose Alman. You already don't have Rice and Sabali. We don't yet have an update on Sykes, but the way she reacted, you wonder if she'll be able to return. This is huge minutes for the bench for Toronto.
Definitely. You look over at the bench, 3 players available for Toronto to sub in. You got to learn how to use the minutes and use these bodies wisely.
Mitchell, even with the defender and Nurse outstretched, Kelsey Mitchell able to get that to go. 22 points. Nurse coming back. And Kia Nurse going to head to the free throw line. By correction, 25 points for Kelsey Mitchell. iPad was slow to update catch.
Kelsey Mitchell, definitely one of those players you want to watch, and she does it so quiet. Like, it's just smooth and quiet. You don't really, like, you talk about it throughout the game, but other players are scoring in the meantime, and then you look up, it's like, oh, Kelsey Mitchell had 25. She's the leading scorer.
Now, I understand what you mean by smooth and quiet. But for people watching that might not, they're like, 25 is not smooth and quiet. It's loud, but it's smooth and quiet for Kelsey Mitchell.
Well, it's smooth and quiet because you don't really put a lot of attention. Like Sophie Cunningham knocks down the shot, the crowd goes crazy, and it's wild in here. Another backdoor cut by Kelsey, not able to connect, but that is part of her game. She just goes and is consistent every single game.
The key, that one too strong. Up the floor. Cunningham works off Hines Allen again. That one's off the mark. Key with the rebound. Coming up on 60 seconds to play in the quarter. Nurse. A turnover there by Toronto. Cunningham. Hines Allen. Kicks it. Johnson. That's off the mark. There's Skyda and Hui. Working in the two-player game. Hui to the basket. And team of Hui's going to head to the free throw line.
I like what I've seen from Hui in the minute that she's had. She's attacked the basket. She's been very aware on the court. Defensively, she's held her own. And she hasn't played that many games for this tempo team, but already starting to get in that flow.
This is the first one Sunday against Atlanta. Didn't score, but did have a career high on Friday in minutes. Only 4 on Sunday, but hit tonight. These are much-needed minutes and experience, and what that can do moving forward. We saw it with Julie Allman, as you mentioned, as this Toronto team continues to try to figure things out with injuries. 82-73 lead here for the Fever. 14 on the shot clock for Mitchell. Turn in the corner, kicks it in the corner. Here's Hines Allen, baseline, kick out, Cunningham. Yeah! Shot clock turned off. Mabry, 4 seconds from half. And that leaves time on the clock for the Fever. 1.3, more than enough. Johnson. And the third
High-level contributor here tonight, 17 points in 17 minutes. I just hope she's able to catch her breath before getting on the show tomorrow, guys.
I hope so. I hope I can catch my breath before I sit on my couch and watch.
I don't think Sophie's going to miss out on an opportunity. You saw at halftime, right after the buzzer, she hit that three, out of breath, but she's still ready.
Out of the timeout, Hui off the mark from 3 for the tempo. Paris Lawson, Tamika Catchings, Megan McKeek with you on a Tuesday evening. So glad to be with you from Circle City. Here she is again, and the fans absolutely love it.
Well, she's not going to be too tired tomorrow. And I say, getting her feet set, coming off the screen. I don't know how you go under on Sophie Cunningham right now, the way she's shooting the ball.
Here's Harrison to answer. The mark, Hines Allen, big rebound for the Fever. Raven Johnson pushing. Working with Boston. Hines Allen, kick back, Mitchell, quick take. That one doesn't go. And a miscue there.
Maybe not able to connect there, but this is all about Sophie Cunningham. It is her night. She has found ways to score from that three-point line. Moved it around the perimeter. I feel like she started on the left side and ended up on the right side. And just anytime you go under on her, especially a pure shooter like this, you've got to figure out a way to stay connected. But when you're feeling it, you're feeling it.
New season high for Sophie Cunningham, up to 20 on 6 of 7 from distance. Here's Clark, got by the defense, met by Nurse, and Clark needs just a moment.
Number 11, Kia Nurse. First, second, Kings first.
I think Caitlin drove in and hit a brick wall. Kia Nurse goes up. She's definitely not set.
Number 22, Caitlin.
Two moving body. That hurts.
Clark having a tough night at the free throw line.
7 for 11 right now. Good little mate. Just got to get your rhythm. She just got back in the game, so trying to get her feet underneath her.
Here's Nurse. And a whistle and a foul on Boston. A little too much in the personal space.
I think Aaliyah Boston had that foul intentionally, just to kind of slow things down a bit.
Yushkaida, a miscue there with Mabry. Mabry, though, keeps it alive for Toronto. And Yushkaida attacking, misses that one as Boston comes up with rebound number 11. Cunningham thought about it. This time attacks, kicks, extra one to Clark. Off the mark. Conde into the hands of Boston on the turnover. Clark. That one's off the mark. Harrison inside. Boston broke that plane of verticality.
That's a good play by Izzy Harrison, though, just taking her time and kind of baiting Boston into that foul.
At the line for the tempo, number 21.
Now let's take a look at the upcoming WNBA National TV schedule. Tomorrow, some huge games on our doubleheader Wednesday. Chicago hosting the Liberty, Phoenix hosting Las Vegas. The Aces looking to bounce back after last night's loss to the Wings. And then Thursday on Prime, this Fever team will welcome in the Atlanta Dream. And for more on these games, please go to WNBA.com or visit the WNBA app. Harrison 1 for 2 at the free throw line. 89-74 lead here for the Fever. Clark works off Boston, 10 on the shot clock. And a deflection as Maria Conde not happy with it, looking to the tempo bench.
Conde not happy, but a little bit more contact with the body. Got to keep it safe.
Seven on the shot clock. Boston back with it. Here's Clark. And they're going to get Boston on the illegal screen.
Number 7, Aaliyah Boston.
Just the third for Boston.
3 fouls all in this quarter.
Had it stripped by Clark. Clark now flowing up the floor. Poked away from behind by Conde, but Billings is with it. Lob inside to Boston as she lays it up and in.
Great job and great patience by the Fever.
Yushkaida's going to get called for a travel. I'm also interested, as good of a first half as Yushkaida had, they kind of went away from her in this second half here.
Well, I think Yushkaida's trying to get the open look, but also you have to look at the Fever have switched up their defense, and they are playing at a different level, and I think that plays into effect. Yushkaida had a great first half. You got to make the adjustments, and you've seen the Fever do that.
91-74 lead here. And a back up there by Nurse. Nice find by Yushkaida. And we did get a update on Alman. It is a headache. So we wish her well as Sykes as Clark got that layup to go.
good body control by Caitlin Clark.
Here's Yushkaida going into the body of Clark, going to give her the bucket, the foul, and one more for Laura Yushkaida.
You brought it up right on cue, and Yushkaida must have heard you over here talking about why did you go away from her. But she imposed her will on this and just taking Caitlin Clark straight to the basket.
And it's only a 13-point ball game with just under 6 to play. I understand they're down players, but this is well within reach.
Well, Toronto, too, they're a team that's never going to give up, and I think that's the way that they have continued to move in from this. So I think that's a big part is, yes, you want to win. You want to win the Commissioner Cup for sure, but also the money that will go to local charities.
Of course, literally every game, Tamika, is you're playing for something, and that is your charity. So even though the East team has been decided upon in the New York Liberty, these games still matter today and tomorrow for everyone involved, as there's a miscue there by the tempo. The winner in each game gets a $3,000 donation. The loser gets a $1,000 donation. Here's Clark attacking, left that short, but will go to the free throw line. And she's helped up by her teammates.
Another good attack by Clark and getting into the body. Timmy Pack-Bentley gets called for that foul. He had 3 players on her, but they were all kind of hanging behind her.
Clark gets the first, extending this lead. And knocks down both of them. Mabry. That one too strong off the window. Timpson the rebound. Clark working with Billings. Clark gets it back with 7 on the shot clock. And a whistle and a foul.
Number 10,
And the third foul called on Conde. As Hui checks back into the ball game here. 5 minutes to play in the fourth. Mitchell. Gibson, baseline cut. Too strong on the finish. Back tap. Conde with it. Conde attacking, kept the bucket, and the foul. Maria Conde going to head to the free throw line for Toronto.
Well, I like just the aggressiveness that Conde had and putting her head down, but you saw Caitlin Clark in front of her, nobody else behind, and that's a good drive. You got to get points, and you got to get points fast. So a good drive to the basket.
Conde completes the three-point play. 95-81, 4:40 to play in the fourth. Mitchell.
Wow. Tempo, number 32, team of 40. Team's fifth.
And Kelsey Mitchell at the free throw line.
At the line, Kelsey Mitchell.
And stay tuned for the WNBA on USA postgame presented by Ford coming up next. As Mitchell gets the free throw.
Number 8, Sophie Cunningham.
Sophie Cunningham back into the ball game. 20 points off the bench. A new season high. Her career high. We were trying to figure this out. Shout out to Jeff, our statistician. 36. But it is a tying career made 6 3-pointers. Pack-Bentley. Hui. able to keep that. Yushkaida. The runner doesn't go. Hall comes up with the rebound. Hall pushing for the Fever.
The Fever not letting up, and they are still continuing to try to get up and down the floor. That pass doesn't connect, but the Fever have not let up off the gas, and I think when you look back at just what Coach White has talked about is making sure that they keep the lead and keep going forward instead of slowing down the pace and playing to not lose games.
Under 4 minutes to go here. Mabry 3 off the mark. Benley the rebound. Her shot left short. Cunningham comes up with the rebound and is fouled. And Sophie Cunningham will walk the length of the floor to the free throw line. To your point, Ketch, it's the proverbial, when you have the lead, don't let up. Put your foot on the gas and keep pushing.
We've looked at just different lineups that the Fever have played. When you look at the bench, you think Ty Harris would be, and Grace Van Sluten and Dantes may get in the game later, but I think it's really trying to get the flow and make sure that the lineup that they have, people are playing together.
Mabry takes a seat. Nurse returns. And as much as we talk about the Fever continuing to play to win rather than play the way they had been as of late, as a foul was called, Bowie gets the whistle in her favor. And here's tonight's game-changing moment.
They know when to cut. They know where the ball's going to be, and they're there to receive it.
Season high 13 assists for Caitlin Clark tonight. Here's Clark from 3. She's been trying to get that one all night.
You can see the sigh of relief when she turned her head.
Bowie into the body of Billings, doesn't get that to go. It sends the Fever back the other way. Clark, kick out to Johnson. Back to Clark. Sends it to Hall for the lay-in.
Make it 14 assists, and that backdoor cut just continues to eat the tempo defense.
On the shot clock here for Toronto. 2:35 to play in this fourth quarter. Bowie. Clark ends up with the rebound. Now Cunningham. Over to Hall. Cunningham on the follow and the finish.
Well, they have not been, and the Fever came into this game on a 3-game winning streak. They wanted to see if the Fever could continue to elevate from there, and we have seen that.
Yushkaida will go back to the free throw line, gets the hoop and the harm. Damaris Dantes, you said we might see her late in this ball game as she checked in. And Tamika, I wanted to get your opinion. You've played in this league, you've been in the front office, you've watched the games rather from the sideline or your couch. This game, forget the score, what does this do for a Toronto team trying to figure things out as they play through injuries and try to just understand the system and learn a new coach and a new system? What does this do for them in their growth?
You grow every single opportunity you come out and play. And one thing that we ask every single team is when you look at just going up against an expansion team, what does that mean? But now, like you look at Toronto, the game has become global. I played overseas and then came back and played in the W. Now you're starting to see more international players in our league, but also the opportunity.
At the metrics and the numbers, not from an analytics standpoint, but how many of her points came from that back cut and those slashing. Dantes coming up with the loose ball, tips it to Cunningham, extra to Johnson for 3. And the rookie continues to join the party from distance.
I love how the fans get so excited when, especially from a rookie standpoint. We love Raven Johnson and just the way that she plays, her energy, just the excitement of being out here on the floor.
Nurse able to get that tough bucket to go. 8 points off the bench for Kia Nurse. Here's Dantas. The pump fake, attacking. Tiani Key is going to get whistled for the foul.
That's a smart play by Dantas. First couple of minutes getting into the game, not just shooting a three because you're open, but really taking the ball a couple steps in, get to the free throw line, get some easy shots, and then you can expand your game out after that.
Sophie Cunningham checking out of the ball game. Grace Van Sluten checking in. As Dantas gets both free throws. And you talk about role players knowing their role. 11th year veteran in Damiris Dantas, accepting that the minutes may not come plentiful, but when she gets them, she knows what is expected of her. 7 on the shot clock here for Nurse. Attacking. And Kia Nurse is going to head to the free throw line for Toronto.
And I would agree with you just as far as the minutes and coming off the bench for Dantas. And you could probably say that for quite a few players on both teams. Of course, when you're a rookie, that's kind of the expectation. You see the game, you expand your game based on what is available to you. But from a vet like that, to have that knowledge and to know, like, hey, when I get in the game, what are areas that I can excel and help this team continue to grow?
It's also that the silent leadership in the sense of what she says at practices, at shoot-arounds, making sure everybody's up on the film, the scouting report, talking to players when they come off the floor about what she's seen and how they can impact. That's all the stuff that people don't see. And Dantas going to go back to the free throw line.
Number 2,
It's kind of what we saw from Benley. When Sykes went down, they kind of got out of sorts for a bit. She brought them together. There was a couple timeouts, same thing before Coach Bondello got to it. She was talking to them. Leadership matters in the W, especially with how young the players are when they're coming into the game. Who is your vet?
Stephanie White.
You see how I brought it all back together? Hui, layup doesn't go. Timpson, the rebound, shot clock turned off. And the Fever gonna dribble this one out as Stephanie White says it to Raven Johnson. And they're gonna go 4 in a row. And you see